Hello, this is Diana. This is my Trailblazers of the Universe YouTube channel. On my channel, I'm helping you fearlessly and unapologetically live your best, most authentic life. I'm helping you break through your barriers and transcend any limitations you have. If that sounds good to you, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So, today's topic is 5 ways to be an empowered empath. This is very important. Of course, I wouldn't be making this if I wasn't an empath. I've been an empath my whole life. I've always absorbed the emotions of others, thinking they were my own. Majority of my life, I didn't have any boundaries. I don't know if I would say people pleaser, but I like to help people. I felt bad for people. I felt their pain. I felt their emotions, and I wanted to help them. I thought I could fix people, and because I had lack of boundaries and didn't know my own power and how to use these gifts, I found myself in a lot of bad situations. You know, I got into addiction, a lot of trouble, toxic relationships, caused a lot of chaos in my life. So sometimes we think being an empath can be a curse, right? Because you're like, oh, I wish I could not feel everything. You feel the pain of the world. You literally go outside, you absorb emotions, absorb negativity. But being an empath is actually a superpower. You know how much a gift it is to be hypersensitive, in tune with your senses, in tune with your intuition. You can actually feel something. Most of the population is desensitized, can't feel anything, and they're very out of touch with themselves. You've been programmed that way. So, being an empath is a gift. I've done these 5 things, and it's really helped me feel more empowered as an empath, and to use my gifts, have more boundaries, and to protect my energy. If you can balance it out, you can be very powerful. You can still help people, but also protect your energy and not feel like you're drained all the time. Number 1, above all else, you need to focus on healing yourself first. You need to put yourself first. Often as empaths, we have no boundaries. We're putting other people first all the time. We think that they need more help than we do, or they need more healing than we do. But guess what? You aren't of much help to people if you have not healed yourself. You can't give from an empty cup. If your energy isn't good, how are you going to be of service to other people? You need to make sure you're always putting yourself first. That means stop saying yes to other people when it's a no to yourself. Putting your self-care first. Doing whatever routines you have that you need to do to improve your life. Even if it's focused on your business, focus on your mental health, physical health. Always putting yourself first. And then once you're good, then you're more benefit to other people as well. And you'll feel more powerful. Make sure you're also enjoying your life more. Number 2, set boundaries. Boundaries are the most important thing. And so we talk about boundaries, we're talking about external and internal boundaries. So that means sometimes your best friend has all these problems. It's like a crisis, but you're actually going through some heavy emotions as well. And you need to process those. And instead of giving your energy to them to help them with the problem that they probably are just looking to emotionally dump on you anyway and not even do anything to resolve the problem, you need to choose yourself. Actually, no, you may be talking for a little bit, but have some boundaries. It's okay to not answer that phone. It's okay to not respond to that text. It's okay to do what you need to do to feel better, to protect your energy. We often overgive. Your relationships, your friendships, are you overgiving more? Are you giving more energy than you're receiving? Probably a lot of empaths, that is the case, and I was in that situation as well. So make sure the energy is being reciprocated. You're not over giving and then getting nothing in return. It should be an equal exchange, right? I understand we are more healers, right? So people will come to us more with problems, but you have to learn, number 1, you need to learn what's yours and what is not, and be able to say no. Hey, I can't help you right now. I have my own things I'm dealing with. So external boundaries is like you're communicating. No, I can't do this right now. Hey, I want to help you, but I can't. And we don't need to over-explain. Sometimes that's a trauma response too. Sometimes it's not worth your energy. Your empath, sometimes everybody wants your energy. Because you have that good energy. You have the healing energy. People want to come to you, and it makes them feel better about themselves. But in the process, you can lose your sense of self and your own energy. So it's important to set those boundaries. Sometimes internal is just, you're not communicating it to them, but you're like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to engage in this today. I'm going to do some self-care today. You always have to communicate with people. Sometimes even communicating with energy vampires or narcissists, whatever, is actually giving them energy, and they'll try to sway you sometimes, and they'll make you feel bad, right? Or they'll say something that kind of tears on your like emotions, right? That makes you like feel bad for them. So sometimes gotta just step away from the phone. Sometimes even not going in public. Sometimes I have to do that because I go in public and people like ask me, people have conversation with me, tell me their life story, right? And that's fine. I don't mind helping people. I'm a giving person, but if I'm not good myself, sometimes they kind of drain my energy. If my aura, I think, is weakening, if I'm in a lower vibration, I can be easily influenced by others. So I have to make sure I set good internal and external boundaries. Number 3, shadow work. Shadow work, when you can understand the darkness better and face your own demons and face your own insecurities, fears, and the unconscious programming, what is unconsciously running your life and blocking you, preventing you from being your best version, having an awareness of where your triggers are coming from and what's holding you back and things you need to work on, what needs to be healed. When you have that, when you would do that shadow work, I mean, shadow work for me is a never-ending process. I've done a lot, but I'm not completely, like, I'm still working through it, but I have done a good bit, and I notice I do feel more powerful as an empath when I have done a more shadow work. I went into the darkness. I wasn't scared to face my own shadow, to work on healing myself, to face my biggest fears and insecurities, kind of right in the face and just work on them. Now, a lot of people have shadow work coaches. If you have heavy trauma and stuff, I'm not licensed. I'm not anything. I don't have any kind of certification in that, but I've kind of done it with myself. And remember, I had to go to a holistic rehab where I did a lot of work on that kind of stuff. I didn't see a shadow work coach or anything, but I kind of learned how to do my own shadow work. I do it every day. But this video is not about shadow work. There are plenty of videos on that, people that are specialized more in that. But once you start to do your own shadow work, I feel like your intuitive gifts are more heightened because you've gone into that dark, you've gone into the depths and darkness of your own soul. And you're able to be kind of an alchemist and transmute some of that and help people. So I think that's a good thing to work on as well. That will help you become an empowered empath. I mean, that's good in general because then once you've done that shadow work, you're kind of going through the things that have been holding you back and you're able to become your best version. You enhance more of your spiritual gifts too. Number 4, healing your inner child. Now that could be part of the shadow work as well. I think that's part of it. Sometimes what happens is why people are empaths, because a lot of times, not in all cases, but sometimes as a child or inner child, maybe we had parents that were emotionally unavailable, or maybe they were physically or emotionally abusive in some kind of way. Maybe we have abandonment issues, narcissist parents, or a parent, one or two, or whatever. There could be some kind of toxic dynamic going on there. And because of that, as a child, we did not get our emotional needs met. Or we did not feel validated, like our emotions were validated as a child. Or that our self-worth was validated, right? When you're a kid, you pick up on everything. You're like a sponge, right? And sometimes our parents are just wounded as well. Sometimes they did the best they can with what they have. Sometimes they had forms of trauma, stuff that affected us as well. Working on healing your child, there's plenty of videos on that. There's coaches for that kind of stuff. Sometimes we attune to the needs of others because we didn't get that validation and we didn't get our emotional needs met. And in order to feel safe and secure, we felt like we had to attune to the needs of others. Finding worthiness and validating ourselves, validating our own emotion. Okay, no one's going to do this for me. I have to do this myself. I have to not abandon myself. You know, the abandonment issues, a lot of times where we feel abandoned, as an adult, we end up abandoning ourselves because we felt that way as a kid, right? So we end up prioritizing other people's needs, being in codependent relationships, not seeing our own worth, not validating ourselves, thinking we need other people to be happy. It might be like an inner wound from our childhood. Something that wasn't healed, a need that wasn't met. And it can be very painful. I'm working through my own stuff as well. And it's been tough. I've even done meditations on it. Or I've worked with people that specialize in that kind of stuff. Shadow work in their child is not going to happen overnight. So, I mean, it's like a never-ending process for me, especially if you had years of this wound and affecting your life. And it's kind of created like a repeating trauma for you. It's affected your relationships. It's affected your whole life, right? Even jobs, like every aspect of your life. It can take time. So give yourself time, but that's just my advice, to work on these things. And there are people that specialize in that. There are videos on that. Meditation can be some kind of deep work, especially if you have very deeper trauma than what most people have. I have worked on those two things, and it's helped me become more of an empowered empath. Number 5. So after you've worked on these things, your vibration will naturally raise. and you will feel more worthy, and you will be more confident setting boundaries. So because of that, you will be able to observe more and not absorb so much. So for me, when my vibration is lower, I feel like I absorb more. I don't feel very secure in my own energy. I feel like I'm constantly absorbing, and I'm like, it's overwhelming, right? And then you feel drained at the end of the day, especially if you're around energy vampires and narcissists, or in situations where you can't get out of that stuff, right? Once you've done these things, you can sit back more. You don't feel so entangled in other people's emotions and drama and trauma. You feel more powerful in your own energy. You have boundaries. You can see the difference between you and other people. It's easier for you to observe and not absorb. Then you really step into your power, because you can see and feel the pain of others. You can see the trauma you've been through, a lot of the stuff yourself. You're very intuitive, and you're within your own energy field. You're holding your own energy and protecting it and not absorbing so much. And then you can really help people more because you're confident in your own energy. You're not giving it to other people. You're being that beacon of light. So then you really become empowered. You understand darkness, you understand the light, and you've kind of transmuted it and have a good balance of it, so you can really step into your power as an empath. You'll have a lot of more discernment on, hey, is this situation worth giving my energy to or helping this person? Well, you can kind of read people's intentions more. If you like my content, hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. I also have a Facebook and Instagram and a TikTok. My links are in this video description and in my profile description. I also offer transformational coaching. If you're interested in that, my contact information is in this video as well. Have a good day. Namaste.